Hi guys. So I decided easiest way to do test corrections was if you want to do them and you want to get points back for them, watch this video. You can print out the test at home if you're able to and write down what I write down, or you can just write it on paper as I'm writing it down. Make sure you title it polynomials test. Make sure you number your problems and show work. If I write it down, you must write it down. So the easy points back, you have to write exactly what I write. Okay? All right. Once you do that, you can take a picture of your paper that you worked on and attach it to the assignment and turn it in. So then you will get all of your correction points back. Okay? I hope you guys are all doing well. And if any time you have problems with anything, please ask. If I need to rework something because it's not working, we can find a solution together. If you have ideas, please share because that might make life easier for all of us. All right, so test corrections. Number one, we're adding or subtracting. So we're combining like terms, basically. Okay. So number one, these parentheses, there's no numbers in front of them, so they're not doing anything. We can just drop them and combine like terms. We have our 2x squared and an x squared, so we can add those together, and we get 3x squared. We have a minus x and a plus 3x, so that's a negative 1, right? Negative 1 plus 3 is a positive 2x. And then let's get another color. How about green? No, we already have green. Red. And then we have a constant by itself. We didn't get a red. What happened to our red? Did I not get red? I guess we have to use, there we go. There's red. Minus 1. Okay, all of the terms were used, so we are done. That's your answer. All right, next. Number 2, there is a number in front of this parenthesis, which means we have to distribute, and we can treat it like a negative 4. So negative 4 times 2 is 8, negative 8, and then keep the y squared. Negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8, and keep the y. Negative 4 times positive 1 is negative 4. No variables there. Okay, and then we want to combine it with this up top. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down. And then we're going to do like we did on the first one. We're going to combine like terms. Oh, let's do purple. Okay, so we have a y squared and a negative 8y squared. So 1 minus 8 is negative 7y squared. And then we had a green there, right? Our y's, we had a plus y and a minus 8y. So that's a positive 1 minus 8 is negative 7 again. And our variable was y. And red. Okay, and then we have the constants. Negative 4 and negative 4 is negative 8. I think that got a lot of you because you wanted to cancel it out, but it doesn't cancel. We have to add those together since they're the same sign. All right, number 3 is a star question. So this is what it might look like on a star test, which if you pass this class and you get your credit, you're our lucky duck and you don't have to take it. Those of you that are not passing and you don't earn your full credit, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take it next year. So here's what it might look like. A shoe company is going to close one of its 2 stores and combine all the inventory from both stores. These polynomials represent the inventory in each store. Which expression represents the combined inventory? Combined inventory means we're going to add them together. Okay, so we want to add like terms. I have a g squared and a g squared. I'm going to add those. So 3g squared plus 1/2 g squared is 3.5 g squared. Right? Now if we think a little bit from elementary school, we can do 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So as an improper fraction, that is 7/2 g squared, which is what we see on all of these answer choices. So we're on the right track. Okay, and then we have this g, but there's no g in the top one. So we just have to bring that down. Oops. Minus 4/5 g. So our second term should be a minus. So it's not C or D. All right, and then our constants. We have a 7/2 and a plus 1/4. So you can use your calculator. You can put in 7 divided by 2 plus 1 divided by 4 in your calculator. You can make it a fraction by putting math inner. Think back to elementary. This is how we add them. I'm going to move up to the top. Okay, 7/2 plus 1/4. They have to have a common denominator, right? So we need to multiply this 2 by 2 to get 4. So that will be a 4, but if we multiply the bottom, we also have to multiply the top by 2. So 7 times 2 is 14. So we have 14 over 4 plus 1 over 4. Since they have common denominators now, we can add the top. So we get 15 on top, and then our denominator stays the same. So our last term will be 15/4. So out of the our answers we had left, 15/4, that would be A. Remember, if I go too fast anytime, this is a video. You can stop it, you can pause it, you can rewind it until you understand something. Always ask me questions also. Lots of ways to ask questions. All right, which expression is equivalent to that mess? This is also another star question. So this is what combining like terms would look like, or adding and subtracting polynomials looks like on your star test. So first I see some parentheses. So I'm going to look to see if I need to distribute anything there. This first one, there's no number here. So that one's good. I can just drop those parentheses. I'm going to scratch those out. Those are not there anymore, okay? And the second set, there's not a number there, but there is a minus. Oops, that's not a 9, that's an arrow. There is a minus, so we need to distribute a -1. So we have -1 times 6x is -6x, and -1 times +3 is -3. Okay, so we're going to cancel that. We're going to look at this bottom part now. Now we just combine like terms. Okay, so we have x squares. We have a 2x squared. We have a -6x squared, and that's it. So 2 minus 6 is -4. So we need a -4x squared. F has it, G has it, H does not, J does not. So there we go. We're canceling some options. And then we have x's. So we have a positive 4x and we have a minus 6x. So 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Keep our variable x. Both of our options have a minus 2x, so we're still good there. Now we need to look at our constant. Our constants are positive 9 and negative 3. So 9 minus 3 is 6 plus 6. Okay, out of our options, we have a plus 12 and a plus 6. We want the plus 6. All right, number 5, multiply using distributive properties. So this is where you had to use product rule. Remember to multiply big numbers, add exponents. Okay, so we multiply each term. So we're doing the 4x times 2x squared. 4 times 2 is 8. And the x's, we add the exponents. So the x has a hidden 1 plus 2 there. So 3, x3. That was this part. And then we want to distribute to the 6x. So 4 times 6 is 24. And then there's 1x and 2 x's. So there's x squared. And then last term, we do 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. There's 1x, no x's with our 2. Number 7, we multiply our big numbers. 7 times 4 is 28. And then we're going to add our exponents. 5 plus 6 is 11. Number 6, we're going to multiply the big numbers. 2 times 4 is 8. And then we're going to keep each variable separate and add the exponents for each separate variable. So our a's, we have a hidden 1 on the 2ab and 2 on our 4a squared. So 1 plus 2 is 3. But we also have a b on 2ab, right? So we got to bring it down. And then we're going to multiply 2ab times 5b. So 2 times 5 is positive 10. We have an a on 2ab, but no a on the 5b. So bring down our a. We have a b on 2ab and a b on 5b. So that's 2 b's. And there's your answer. We cannot combine like terms because we have an a3 in the first term and just an a in that second term. So they're not like terms. Number 8 is another star question. So this is what star questions are going to look like from some review. All right, so the diagram shows the floor plan of a storage facility. All dimensions are given in feet, which expression represents the area of the storage facility in square feet. So area tells me to multiply length times width. Okay, so here's our length and our width. So we just need to multiply those two. Those are binomials. So how do we multiply binomials? Well, I'll show you both ways. You can either use the box method or you can use FOIL. So box, you do not have to write down both of these ways. Pick one that you like and write it down. You can skip this video over the second part that you don't want to do. Okay, so we have 5x plus 4 times 4x minus 4. So we multiply 4x times 5x, it's 20. There's 2x's, so x squared. 4x times 4 is 16. Keep the x. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. and there's an x. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. So we bring down that 20x squared. We can combine the negative 20x and the 16x, which is negative 4x. And we bring down that minus 16. Okay, if you're choosing to do FOIL, or double distribution, sometimes it's called that, we do our first terms. 5x times 4x is 20x squared. And we do our outside terms. 5x times negative 4 is negative 20x. And then we do our 4x times 4, which is 16x. And we do a 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. I forgot the 16x there. We can combine our middle terms to get negative 4, and we get this same answer. Okay, now when you look at this problem, you can automatically eliminate h and j because we had two binomials, we multiplied, and we learned certain rules where we always end up with 3 terms, right? Except for if they were exactly the same terms with a different symbol in the middle. Okay, then sometimes we ended up with 2 terms or binomials. All right, so our answer matched G. Okay, number 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 are all multiplying. Okay. I'm going to do number 10. Okay, 9, 11, 12, and 13. I want you to do, after watching these 2 examples using box and FOIL, you do it on your own and I will check those, okay? So make sure you do those to get your credit on corrections. All right, so I'm going to do number 10. I'm going to do it both ways, and remember, you only have to do it one way, the way that you like it. Okay, so b minus 2 squared means, I'm going to move it. B minus 2 times b minus 2. Multiplying it by itself 2 times, right? So b minus 2 is across the top, and b minus 2 is across the side. Okay, multiplying in our boxes, b times b is b squared. B times negative 2 is negative 2b. Negative 2 times b is negative 2b. And negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Then we can bring out our b squared. We add our like terms. Negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4b. And then bring out that plus 4. So there's the box if you like box. If you like FOIL, sorry. If you like FOIL, then you're going to multiply your first to get b squared. And then your outsides, b times negative 2. And then your insides, negative 2 times b. And your last, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Then you can combine those middle terms to get negative 4, and you get the same answer. Okay, now you can do 9, 11, 12, 13 the way that you choose. Make sure you show your work and show your steps. All right, number 14. We're dividing. So when you're dividing, you're going to divide each term by what's on the denominator, right? And when we're dividing, we're using the quotient rule. Quotient rule says to divide the big numbers and subtract the exponents. So on this x on the bottom on number 14, remember there's an invisible 1 as the exponent. So, and there's also an invisible 1 as our coefficient. So we're dividing big numbers by 1, which means they're not going to change. And we're going to subtract the exponents by 1 on each term. So our first term, we're going to get by taking 4x to the 4th. Let's make that better. 4x to the 4th divided by x. And we're going to break that up to 3x cubed divided by x plus 7x divided by x. Okay, now this first term, we're going to take the 4 and we're going to subtract the 1, right? So we get x cubed. Now 3, we take a big number 1. 3 divided by 1 is still 3. And then we have the hidden exponent 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now the third one, we have 7 divided by 1 is 7. The x's cancel because they're the same on top and bottom. All right, and that's it. That's your answer. Number 15, we're going to take each term and separate them. Divide the big numbers, so we get 3. There's no variables, so it just stayed the same. And then our last one, 10 divided by 2 is 5. All right. Here's an extra piece of information that you used up above. I'm going to use it again. The length of a rectangle is 2b minus 8, and the width is b plus 3. Write a simplified expression to represent A, the area of a rectangle. So area of a rectangle is length times width. We know the length, we know the width, so we're multiplying these two things. Use box or use foil, the one that you like best. I'm going to do it using foil just so you see some extra opportunities here. Okay, so 2b times b and 2b times 3. And then we do our negative 8 times b and negative 8 times 3. Combine our middle terms. So we get 2b squared. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. Keep the b. And then bring down minus 24. This is our area. All right, number 17, a little bit of a review. It was on your spiral review also for those of you that completed it. Which inequality describes all the solutions to that inequality? Okay, so remember the don't call me after midnight steps. D stands for distribute. We have parentheses, so first thing I need to do is distribute. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times negative x is negative 5x. Less than negative 2x plus 6. Nothing to distribute there, right? And then our C is combine like terms on the same side. We have a 15 and a 5x. Those are not like terms. We have a 2x and a 6, not like terms, so we can skip that. Our first M stands for move the variable. I have a variable on both sides here, so I want to move those. I want them, since it's less than and not equals, I want the x on the left-hand side. So to be able to move the x on the left-hand side, I have to do the inverse operation. So the inverse of a negative 2x is a positive 2x. And I'm going to do that on the other side to keep it balanced. So I have 15. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. All right, 2x canceled, and then bring down the 6. Okay, so I did the first term. Now we add or subtract the constant. So our constants with the x, always look at with the x when you're moving things. Our constant with the x is positive 15. Opposite of positive is negative. So we're subtracting 15 on both sides. To cancel that, bring down our negative 3x. Bring down the less than. 6 minus 15 is negative 9. Okay, trying to figure this out, guys. All right, and then our last m stands for multiply or divide. We want to divide that negative 3. Divide the negative 3. So our 3's will cancel, we get x. Now we divided by negative, and our one special rule about inequalities is if you divide by negative, you flip the inequality. So that less than becomes a greater than. And then negative 9 divided by negative 3 is a positive 3. That's a B. Another strategy to help you with these type of questions is to take your number and plug it in to see if it gives you a true answer. So on B, it says x is greater than 3. I can take any number greater than 3 and see if it works. So or you can just take that number and see if it's equal. Okay, so if you take in the 3, I'm going to erase some of this work. Make sure you write all of that. I'm going to erase it so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we do 5 times 3 minus x is going to change the number that we're checking, 3, because that's x equal greater than 3, less than negative 2. X is going to change to 3 plus 6. Now, 3 minus 3 is 0. Remember, you have to do what's in the parentheses first. 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. And then multiply negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Plus 6 is 0. Since you have the same number on both sides, that tells you it's the correct answer. Okay, so that's the second way that you can do these types of problems. All right, number 18. You're using the same steps as above. This don't call me after midnight. So first we're checking for distribution. We do have some parentheses with numbers in front, so we're gonna have to distribute. So we're gonna bring down the 8x. And then negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. And negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Oops, that was that. But we also have parentheses on this other side, so we have 3 times x and 3 times negative 6. And then C, don't call me after midnight. C is combine. So we're looking for like terms on the same side that we can combine. So our 8x minus 6x gives us 2x. Bring down that plus 12. On this side, we have another x, but it's not on that same side, so we can't combine it. We're going to bring it down. And then our first dim stands for moving a variable. It doesn't matter which one we move because it says equals. So we want to pick one variable and move it by doing the opposite. I'm going to pick this 2x and subtract it. So that cancels at 12. 3 minus 2 is 1, or just x, minus 18. And then add or subtract the constant with the variable. Since it's subtracting, I want to do the opposite. Add. 12 plus 18 is 30. And that gives me answer C. All right. Remember, another way to solve that, especially since it's multiple choice, is to plug that in, make sure you get the same, and solve, make sure you get the same answer on both sides of the equal. All right, guys, I hope this helps you a lot. Please keep up. Please keep going. If you need any help at all, just let me know. I'm happy to help you. See you later.